I'm working on my budget spreadsheet for all of our renovation things. This is not something that I have been doing since the beginning, mostly because we've been doing this renovation entirely ourselves. We've only had to pay labor for for 2 half days, but for like one job really. There will be the finishing of that job that we will have to pay soon when it gets finished, but our carpenter is also renovating his house, so he's pretty busy. And I can live without doors under my sink for a little bit. Anyway, I'm going to show you how I organize my renovation stuff. Okay, here is the budget spreadsheet. So I'm focusing on the dining room because that is what I'm working on at the moment. Everything has been broken down by project. Not all of this is filled in yet because I need to go back and look at all of our receipts and things like that. So this project, dining room makeover, item amount, so the amount of times we had to buy the individual item, the individual cost, and then the total cost, which is just this times this. And then we have the full total, which right now is 822. It's the projected total at the moment based on the fact that for the fabric for the chairs, I have only actually purchased 4 meters so far, but I estimate that I will need 8 meters because I've got enough to do 4 chairs and there's 8 chairs. So it's like a square meter of fabric per chair. And every single thing that we've so far put into our dining room is included in this, except furniture, because all of our furniture was free. So I think for most people, under $1,000 is probably a lot less than they would expect for a dining room makeover. Actually, one thing I haven't put in here is the primer and the enamel paint for the trim. So I need to add that. But basically everything that I've purchased so far was paint. I bought 2 4-liter cans of a grey colour, which is the flat grey that all of the stencil work is sitting over. It's a colour called Partita by, I think it was British Paints. Then I purchased sample paint pots in these colours: Blue Ocean, Red Ribbon, Fresh Ice, Black Ace, Ruby Red, not Warm Red, and British Yellow. And I've so far purchased 2 sets of these sample pots. Each was $5. I will likely need more. I will likely get at least 1 liter cans of all of these colors next time I go to the store, because I'm doing this method with these exact colors in 2 rooms, so the dining room and the master bedroom. My assumption is that I will need quite a bit more. So this will probably end up a little over $1,000. I would estimate right now, if this is all I need, maybe like $1,200, $1,300 total. I picked up fabric paint medium, acrylic paint in green and black, and wax sticks. This was for the chairs that I'm still in the middle of reupholstering, having so far done 2, about to work on my 3rd, and then I've got to buy more fabric, but I don't need to buy more fabric paint. I do need to buy more fabric paint medium. I've included that fact. I've gone through 1 bottle so far, but I will need to pick up a 2nd bottle, and that is included in this total here. Wax sticks, 1 crayon. I don't think I'll need more than 1. Actually, for all 8 chairs, but we'll see. We might need 2. Stain and varnishes for the dining table. I have no idea how much this is going to cost. I think I know what color I might go with, and stain is pretty expensive, so is varnish. These might be up to $100 each. So there's a few things that I haven't fully calculated yet. So we did curtain holdbacks. I haven't gotten this curtain tassel yet, but I'm gonna assume it'll be around $50. But we'll see. But right now I'm thinking $1,300 looks like the main total. And then we're going to do flooring. That's a long way away. Basically, we're going to rip out our carpet in our dining room, hallway, entryway, and the hallway with all the spare bedrooms, which you don't really see much in videos. And we're going to replace it all with hybrid flooring. I don't particularly like having carpet. I will die on the area rug hill. I would prefer that every room has hybrid flooring and just big area rugs that are pretty and match the aesthetic of the room. Carpet is economical for a lot of reasons. It's good for heating. It's good because it's like good for your like back and hips and stuff being squishy. But I think the hybrid flooring, when it has like that cork or whatever it is inside, also does that. But we'll see. We're going to start with what we've already planned out. Basically, the way I'm going to divvy the flooring up is by like measuring out the square meters per space that I put it into, and I will divvy up the budget in that way. But we're going to put it all in at once, so it's going to be its own big cost and big project. It's been really fun doing this spreadsheet actually, because it's getting my brain a bit more organized, and I do everything in really all over the place kind of methodologies. But I'll show you where I'm at with the wallpaper. I think I've got some good color combinations. I'm gonna turn this kitchen light on so the colors show up a little bit better. Not here, not here, but here. So this kind of impressionist style Morning Glory and these leaves is pretty much exactly how I want it. I've got a little bit more work to do on this rose to kind of get it to match this rose up here, because this is the rose that I like. Got to finish these Morning Glories, but we're getting closer with the color combos. I'm thinking this like tea rose kind of color, old dusty rose, tea rosy kind of color will be the shadow, because it's kind of a cool but nicely warm tone and it looks nice against the grey. Having this reddy color and these reds here is going to tie into my office, which is going to be similar to this color. This is like from the bottom, it like gets slowly less and less painted. So I picked there's a clock on my floor that I work on a lot of projects at once. Where are my color samples? I picked up a bunch of paint chips and I don't know where I put them. Where did I? Oh, there they are. I see them. Okay, paint chips. If, like me, you have not taken a formal art class since you were 16, you may or may not know that colors are relative. There are no ugly colors, there are just ugly color schemes or combinations. This gray at the bottom here, Partita, is the color of my dining room and entryway. So the colors of this living room, which is a super teeny tiny space, I don't think it's even 2 meters wide. So that means that because if I have an entryway here, where you're going to see some of the grey, and it's also going to have all of this wallpapering in purples and in greens and a little bit of pop of red, and then there is my office, all of the colours in these conjoined rooms need to work together. You don't want to move from one room to the next and have the colours be totally jarring. As a result of that, I had to have a look at what colours look good with Partita. I'm explaining color relativity really badly. So basically color relativity means that the way that you perceive a color is going to look a lot different based on the color that is next to it. So if I have Partita, so here's my color swatch for Partita Gray. I want a color that makes Partita Gray pop and look like really nice. So I think Paris Pink makes Partita pop and look really nice. A lot of these reds, these like dark purpley reds, look pretty good with Partita that I had a look at. They look fine. Like this warm red, they look fine together. But I do think that Paris Pink made it pop the most. And this is also going to make that tea rose color, also because I think that they're quite complementary. So hard to read this. This is a dark green velvet. What is a little bit harder, so Partita and dark green velvet, they look pretty good together. But what is a lot harder is finding a green and a red that look really good together. This color combo I think is gorgeous. I think this looks fantastic. But if I did this and Belly Fire, see how this reads a lot warmer, which is fine if it was just these two colors, but then you add Partita in, Partita looks out of place. So there needed to be, despite the fact that I'm using a lot of cool colors, I need those colors to create warmth between each other, if that makes sense. So the warmth in velvet, in dark green velvet, brings out the warmer, more purpley hues here. Whereas if I chose something like this, suddenly Paris Pink is reading a whole lot cooler, because this is a much, would you call this a cool green? It's warm, but it's light. The value isn't there. Not a color expert, not a color analysis expert. But what I'm saying is that I looked at a mass amount of swatches and those colors read the absolute best together. This is a cool green. It looks flat. In some cases, this color combo would probably look really pretty. It would depend on your decor. I need my house to look warm. So Partita ends up being the lightest and the brightest color in the whole mix. Dark green velvet again. But those are the color combos that I'm going with. I wanted something muted, something old world, something that could pop with the Partita, but also feel really cozy and warm. And I think that these two play together in a way that looks really cozy and warm, while also being muted and cool enough that they will drop back and not make the room feel super closed in. In the dining room, that doesn't matter as much because it's such a bigger space and it's an open plan dining and kitchen. And then the mutedness also helps with the kitchen, being that it's more in the white and blue space with the Partita and the wallpaper kind of surrounding it and the dark. Keeping in mind that as the light changes throughout your house in the day, everything will look a little bit different. And that's why I didn't want to go too warm or too cool. I wanted something kind of middling, kind of muted, and something that I could see how light would play off a little by having these two together. Obsessed with this color combo. I've always loved red and green together. It just has to be the right red and green. And in general, it means that you need something in the browny purples for reds and something in the really like foresty warms for greens. When I do start doing this living room, if we go down to living room, I've picked out this fireplace. We were going through fireplaces the other day. This one is an electric fireplace with this grey brick and this white around. Our trim is white, and I'm gonna have to work a little bit of white into my wallpaper as well to get that to read nicely. Base.